guys, welcome back to my channel. I don't know what my hands are doing. They're like, hey guys, it's so awkward. I have to say first and foremost, I'm sorry about my hair. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I kind of just blacked out and then ended up with pigtails. So I don't know what's going on right now. I just kind of thought like, oh, it's back to school, you know, like let me be like a schoolgirl, like let me put on pigtails. And then all of a sudden, like I started showing too much cleavage and it just got kind of weird and I was like, what's going on? I blacked out, I'm back, I have pigtails, it is what it is. For today's video, as you can tell by the title, I'm going to be doing a back to school makeup look that is all drugstore products. And yes, every single product in this video is from the drugstore. It is not affordable. It is drugstore because I have learned with my subscribers that there's a very big difference. And I've had a hard time being like, but wait, they're affordable. Why don't they like love this? Like why just drugstore? Why not affordable? And then I realized that a lot of you guys want to be able to walk into your local Target, Ulta, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, whatever it is. Rite Aid? Yeah. Anyways, and just pick up these products and use them for yourself. I know that a lot of affordable brands are online only or they only have select locations and you guys just want it to be easier. So I totally get it. I saw the comments in my last video and so many of you guys were saying that like you love the fact that I was trying to be budget friendly, but you also wanted to be just drugstore. So I thought this was the perfect video because I really wanted to gear this video towards my younger audience, if you will, like high schoolers and college, because you guys are obviously the ones going back to school. I don't wanna say obvious because that's not fair because there's so many people in their 30s and 40s and 50s going back to school, which is awesome. But I wanted to gear this towards those young boys and girls who want to feel glam before going to school, but also don't want to set their alarm an hour and a half early, an hour and 45 minutes early just to beat their face. So I wanted to do something really inexpensive and really realistic, something that I personally do now as, you know, a 29-year-old woman, and when I have to go to a meeting and I'm just like, oh God, I have an early meeting, this is the look that I do. So I wanted to share it with you guys because it's easy, and honestly, when I'm in my zone and I'm just like doing my thing, I can do this look in 15 minutes, easy and out the door. Of course, it's gonna seem longer on camera because I'm gonna be pausing and talking and explaining and all of that, but it is so easy. I'm gonna give you guys some tips and tricks of things that I do to make it look like you have bronzer, contour, all that jazz. Just all different things on the face to help you guys get out the door fast as possible and get to school. So yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and congratulations to everybody who is still in school doing your thing, hustling and grinding. It's awesome. I personally didn't even graduate high school. I got my GED, which technically I graduated, but I don't have a high school diploma, which is something that I used to be really sensitive about. I'm better about it now. It doesn't bother me as much, but I got my GED when I was 15, about to turn 16 years old. And then I graduated and then worked at Platt Beach, which is a tanning salon. And then I went off to an art college and I loved my art school. I just wasn't built for school. Like I would cry, I couldn't stand math, like social studies, I mean, everything. Like, oh my gosh, geometry. I cannot handle geometry. So God bless all of you who just love school and love to learn and do your thing. It's awesome. Not my journey. My boyfriend loves school. He can't get enough of it. He's like, I wish I could go to school forever. I'm like, okay. I'm gonna stop rambling. I'm sorry. I love you guys so much. I hope you enjoy this video. And if you wanna see how to get this quick, easy drugstore back to school makeup look, then just keep watching. Okay, hi. I feel so stupid with these pigtails in right now. I can't even tell you. I wore pigtails for my birthday party a few weeks ago for the first time, but it was like better because I actually like tried and made them like really curly and full of volume, and today I'm just like, this is just sad, but it is what it is. So for today's video, since this is a back to school makeup look, it sounds kind of silly, but I wanna be realistic about the steps that we take in the makeup look that we do. In the mornings, sometimes I prime my face, sometimes I don't, because I do use a very tacky moisturizer in the morning, and I go right from cleansing my skin, moisturizing, straight to my vanity to start putting on makeup, so my skin still has that tackiness, so I don't feel the need to prime, you know what I'm saying? If you wanna do something easy and use like the Milani Make It Last, this is also known as a primer, you could just quickly give your face a little spritz, just a little, ooh, hello type moment, and then go in with the products. But again, I don't find it totally necessary to prime when I just put on my moisturizer. Total personal preference. So the first step that I'm going to do is different than how I normally do my makeup, but that's because we're gonna be quick and we're gonna get the HE double hockey sticks out the door. I'm gonna go in with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define. This is a full coverage concealer. It's actually very, very good. It's not my #1 favorite, like affordable concealer, but when it comes to the drugstore, this is, I'm thinking about other concealer. Yeah, this is gonna be my #1 concealer from the drugstore. I got mine at Ulta, but I also saw these at Target as well. So I'm just gonna take that, put it under my eye, just a little bit at a time because we can always build, okay? Hit it there, down the center of the nose. I do have a few little blemishes right around there. Right now we're just kind of like spot correcting. I've had this like pimple that sits right here on like the butt of my chin for like a month at this point, and it's like leaving a little scar. I'm like, that's exciting. I always do the upper lip and around the mouth because it's definitely hormonal, but women can definitely have hyperpigmentation in that area and it looks darker. Sometimes it can even look like it's a mustache. It can look like it's hair and it's not. It's just pigmentation, but it's very common. So at this point, you can go in with a brush, you can go in with a beauty sponge. It doesn't really matter, it's personal preference. Sometimes brushes can be faster, some people think. It doesn't matter. I'll just use this and go in and just start blending that concealer out. And I am working quickly because this is how I would do my makeup if I was in a rush and trying to get out the door. I always have redness on the outer corner of my eyes. Like, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, I always have a little redness right here, so I always make sure to hit that area just to make me look a little bit more fresh. I feel like Captain Hook around the nose. A lot of women are hormonal around the nose. Did I say a lot of women are hormonal around the nose? I meant red around the nose. It's very common to have redness around your nose. I didn't have it until I was in my 20s. I didn't have it when I was young, but I mean, 20s is still very young, but all of a sudden it kicked in. I remember Kanye Johnson talking about her having to cover up the redness around her nose, and I was like, what redness? And then in my 20s, it popped up for me, and now I always have to conceal that redness right there. So honestly, you guys, on days where I'm just like panicked and I literally have like a minute and a half just to throw something on my face, that's what I'll do. Right there, I'll just throw in some concealer, blend it out. I will just curl my lashes, clear brow gel, and that's it. Like if I just feel like, whoa, I look terrible, I need a little something, that's like my 60-second out the door. But since we have more than 60 seconds, this is more like, honestly, this is more like a 10-minute, possibly 15. Depends like how far I wanna take it, but possibly 15, but realistically, I feel like I could do this look in 10 minutes. I should have timed myself. What was I thinking? All right, I'm gonna take that same concealer and just make a little cross right here on my forehead. Blend that out a little bit. This concealer is great because it definitely does have coverage. It's not super full coverage, so if you want like a ton of coverage, you would have to build it, which is nice because it is a buildable concealer, so that wouldn't be an issue. So I personally am gonna go in with another layer just on the under eye cheek area. Wait, oh, that's a darker color. Uh-oh, whatever. I'll just mix it. I was using C10 just now. That's too dark for me. C8 is the best color as far as like highlighting properties. So I'm just gonna go ahead and build a little bit more because I want just a little bit more coverage on that area. And this time I'm gonna use a beauty sponge because I do feel like when I use brushes on my under eyes, I don't get as much coverage, and I also feel like I pull at my under eye skin, which is just not good. Obviously, you wanna be extremely careful with your under eyes, and I tend to like drag, especially when I'm rushing. So using this and pouncing it in, I feel like it's just so much better for your actual skin, wrinkles, and aging. I'm gonna use one shade darker, which is C10, and I'm just gonna hit that right here. It's not too much darker, but just a little bit. So as you guys can see, I am using concealer basically all over my face, but I'm doing it more generous in other areas and more sparing in others. Like my cheeks and my nose and the T-zone is definitely where I put the most. And then like down here in this area, I allow like my natural skin to shine through. Like you can see I have some freckles down here and some like little itty bitty sunspots, which I'm not happy about. But I'm gonna let those shine through because this is more of a natural day-to-day easy look, and I don't wanna have like a full beat on my face. And I have always noticed that when you can see things like some of the veins in your eyelids and like pigmentation and like little bitty freckles through the foundation, it doesn't look like you're wearing that much makeup because you obviously aren't. But it's kind of like a way to fool people, if you will, like putting a lot of coverage on the under eye and cheeks so it looks really like, oh, like you look very alive and bright, but then the rest of the face you can see some imperfections. It doesn't look like, oh, she's wearing a full mask. It just looks like, oh wow, she looks good, you know? So that's what we're going for. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the L'Oreal True Match Foundation. I used to love this foundation so much. If you guys have been riding with me for years and years and years, and you were like officially a part of the Jack Pack, I think that's the cutest name ever. Someone came up with that on Twitter. It used to be Hillsters, and then someone came up with Jack Pack, and I just think that's the cutest name ever. But anyways, I used to love this foundation when I would do more drugstore tutorials than I have as of recent. It's a really good one, and I also love the L'Oreal True Match Illumi, which I actually don't like anymore, but this one is still really good. So the reason that this shade is so much darker than my skin tone is because I'm gonna be using it to bronze. This is in the shade Classic Tan N7. I'm just gonna take it right like that, put it on my finger, and literally just dot it right here on my cheeks. I know, it's such a random thing to do, but it's so fast and it's so easy. And I've never been able to find a cream contour from the drugstore that I actually enjoy. And this foundation blends out like such a dream. So I just use this instead. And any little synthetic brush like this will do. This is from It Cosmetics. I got it at, well, actually, no, they sent it to me. Yeah, they sent this to me, but you can buy this at Ulta. And I just blend this foundation out like that, just to give some warmth to the skin. It's so easy, and especially because I don't want to take the time to do like the whole powder bronze, make sure I powder my face. Like I want this to look more natural. So using a liquid is definitely a great way to go when you're in a rush and you want it to look very natural and just like it's your skin. All right, we're gonna get up in this hairline. Typically, if I was super fair, I might not necessarily bronze this much, but because I am tanner right now than just my fair skin tone, I'm gonna bronze it because it's gonna start to match my neck and my chest. And a lot of times when I'm working with creams like this and I blend them out and I'm using a brush, sometimes if you look closely, you can kind of see like brush stipples on the skin from the actual bristles. So I'll just take the sponge and go like this. It's not gonna remove any product whatsoever. It'll just help it look natural, get rid of any streaks from the brush, any marks, and just make everything come together. Okay, so now that we have our creams on, I'm gonna go in with one of my favorite drugstore products. I should do a favorite drugstore products video again soon because I've been trying so many, like the past month and a half maybe, and I have really fallen in love with quite a few things, and this is one of them. It is the, again, Makeup Revolution, just like the concealer, same brand. It's the Pro HD Powder Contour Palette. I love this formula for a drugstore formula especially. It's really, really great, and I love these shades for the under eye, so I'm gonna use this light one and this yellow one. I also use this in my most recent video as well, the affordable, my go-to look on a budget, you guys get it. But I really, really like this. It's a really great formula. So I'm just gonna go ahead, dip my brush into both of these shades back and forth, tap off the excess, and then I'm just gonna hit my under eye with that. So I'm just gonna take that and tap on the under eye. This powder has like such a soft little glow to it. Like it's not pearly necessary. It just looks nice. It's not like super dry. I'm gonna take those same powders. I'm gonna touch my chin with it. I'm gonna touch my upper lip. I'm gonna touch my nose, just a little bit on the side, and then right here, center of the forehead. I'm also going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder right here. This is in the shade Light Medium. Looks like this, just a tiny bit on my beauty sponge, and I'm going to just go over only my forehead with this. I have not gotten Botox in quite a while, and so things will set, not things, but my products will set into the wrinklies that I have up there, so I just lightly tap that so that it stays smooth throughout the day. I'm gonna grab that yellow shade, and then I'm just going to take that and go almost like a fake bake. Like just hit it right here, just to help out the sculpting of the face. For blush, I'm gonna try something new. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks blush palette right here. I thought that the colors were really pretty. I picked this up at Target. So I'm gonna mix this shade and this shade from the far corners. And I have no idea how these will perform, but hopefully they're bomb. Oh my God, okay, great. There's pigment there. Hello, how are you? All right, let's just get it poppin'. I was not expecting that to have that sort of pigment. It just like stuck to my skin. Well, it's a good thing that I love blush because, oh my God. Okay, so typically, this is not what would happen while I'm doing my makeup. But since I was not expecting that, and I just assumed like, oh, it's just gonna be like a medium pigment, I was wrong. Let me go in and try to fix this. I'm gonna go back with the Makeup Revolution and just try to tone this down a pinch. Although blush fades on me pretty quickly, so I'm not too worried about it, but still. Let me hit my nose with a little something something because it's like I just went skiing. I'm a girl. Okay, I'm like genuinely scarred by how aggressive that blush application was. I really did something there. Okay, great, whatever. Look like a schoolgirl. All right, so I'm going to use the Maybelline Master Chrome Metallic Highlighter in the shade Molten Rose Gold. I'm gonna put this only on my apples. Hello, that's bright. Only on the apples of my cheeks. Use my finger because sometimes you just gotta use God's given brushes. Your fingertips. Right there, just emphasize those chubby little cheeks of mine. Hello. You know what? I love my chubby cheeks. Even though everyone thinks they're filler. I don't know why anyone would filler to make their entire face bigger, but that's fine. Then I'm gonna grab the Wet n Wild Precious Petals highlight. I actually really wanted to use this golden flower crown because it's new, and I haven't used this color, but I can't get it open. You know what? I just need to find a way. I need to get it open. I really wanna try this color. Am I the stupidest person ever? I literally can't get that in there. Oh, hell no. An hour and a half later, we have it open. So I'm going to take this and put it on my upper cheekbone, just lightly, just to see. Oh, it's a pretty color. It's very golden, and I love a golden highlight. I feel like I have too much highlight on right now. Said no one ever. No, but I actually do feel like I have too much highlight on. Oh God. Stop, put the brush down! So for brows, I have been using pomade recently. I love the Anastasia one, but for Drugstore, I have two different ones, and they are very different. The first one is the NYX one right here that is called Take and Frame Tinted Brow Pomade, and then the other one is by Arcs and Halos, which I've never actually heard of, and it says Luxury Brow Building Pomade. So the difference is NYX is definitely less pigmented. This is much more pigmented. If you're a beginner working with pomades, I would go with NYX if you're looking for one because it's more difficult to screw up, where this one definitely has more pigment, but it's much more like the Anastasia brow pomade, I will say that. I'm gonna kind of go back and forth personally. I'm gonna use both. I'll use the NYX on the inner corner, and then I will use the Arcs and Halos on the outer tail. You guys know I hate doing my brows so much. It's the worst part. Why is it a thing? Why did brows become a trend? Like, I love the end result so much, but I hate the process. So I'm gonna start off with the NYX. Hopping in there. I have this bald spot right here on my eyebrow, and I've been thinking about for like the past 6 months getting it microbladed, but like I literally only would want that spot microbladed, like just like from here to here. I don't know if that's even a thing. I haven't asked anybody, but I'm kind of into that idea because it drives me crazy. Like, this brow doesn't have bald spots. Like, when I push that bad boy up with some brow gel, it's good to go. This one, it's like the black sheep of the family, the ugly stepsister. Also, I didn't mention this, I'm gonna keep my brows on the lighter side. You know I always say that. And then they end up so intense, it's like two caterpillars on my face. But I wanna keep them on the lighter side today because of the fact that my makeup is minimal, so I do not want a super heavy brow because then when you look at me, that's all you're gonna see. I can hear someone downstairs making espresso. Like, it's 5:30 and someone's making espresso? Okay, so apparently that's my version of a natural brow. Honestly, I need to reshape these bad boys because they are looking, whoo, rough. we'll take care of it. I'm gonna grab this e.l.f. Mad for Matte Summer Breeze palette. They're all matte shadows, all different tones of neutrals. We've got a purple in there. So I'm just gonna grab third one in right there. And this is the only shadow that I'm gonna use on my eyes today, just because that's how I do it when I'm in a rush and just trying to get somewhere. I just take one matte brown eyeshadow. Sometimes I'll even do a cream. The cream bronzer, I'll just throw it in there really quickly with like a brush like this. I'll just use this end and just like throw a cream in there because just a little definition on the eye will give you a little bit more life and bring a little bit more attention to the eyes. And who doesn't want to bring attention to their eyes? I'm gonna go back in with that same Wet n Wild highlight and just hit my inner corners real quick. As always, this is like a necessary step for me no matter what. It doesn't even need to be like a beaming highlight, but it needs to be something. Even if it's matte, I need something in my inner corners just to make my eyes look a little bit more fresh. Now I'm gonna curl my eyelashes, which is such an important step for me. I personally pulsate when I do this for maybe 5 to 7 seconds. You can see the difference that it gives in my lashes and why it is such a necessary step. I also curl them again once my lashes are dry. If I'm in a rush, I'll put on my mascara. I will throw my lash curler into my purse. And then once I'm in the car, I'll just pull it out and do it, you know, 15, 20 minutes later at a stoplight or something like that. But I know that it's always been a thing, like don't ever curl your lashes when you have mascara on, and we hear the horror stories of losing lashes and them falling out. I've never had that experience, ever, 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 ever. I feel like now that I'm saying this, I'm going to have that experience, but I've never had that happen to me. I'm gonna use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise Mascara. This is my favorite drugstore mascara. Sorry, I'm getting kind of tired. This is a great dupe for the Better Than Sex mascara. Personally, I like it better, which I know that Better Than Sex is like one of the top selling mascaras ever, whoops. But it gets really clumpy, like super clumpy on me, where this one does not. When I was a teenager, I would spend so much time on my mascara, like I had an art to it. And now that I wear lashes, like fake lashes all the time, I like just slap on my mascara and move along. But I'm telling you, it used to take me like 5 to 10 minutes. I would sit there and do like 3 different mascaras and build, and I had a reason why. Then I'd sit there with like a little pick and like pick between each lash, and my lashes looked so beautiful, and now I'm just like, and I move on with my life. All right, so I bought this L'Oreal telescopic mascara because it looked like the skinniest one that I could find at the drugstore, and I was trying to replicate my MAC Cosmetics Giga Black because I just really love like a really, really skinny mascara for the bottom lashes. But you guys, look at this. It will not go back into the tube. Like, I even had Sarah come up here and try to get it, and it will not go in. Like, this has to be defective. There's no way that this is like, they're actually selling it like this. Like, I'm so sad. I was so excited for this wand. In the trash we go. All right. You know what? Before I even put on bottom mascara, I am going to spray my face. I have not used this yet. It is the Pixi Rose Glow Mist. It says with 7 flower oils. So I'm excited to try this right here. I tried their like another glow mist, and honestly, you guys, it smelled so bad that I couldn't use it just because of the smell. It was just like rancid. And I bought 2 of them and they both smelled the same, but this one says rose, so I'm sure it'll be better. I mean, it really does smell like roses. I don't have my fan in here. What am I gonna do? Okay, so now that my top lashes are dry and it's been a few minutes, I'm gonna go in with my lash curler one more time, get nice and tight in there, and curl them one more time. Just a few little pulses. Slowly remove it, and then you can see how much that curls them, and then they last a lot longer. For me, when I do it after mascara, it's what keeps the curl last for a long time. So I have never found a drugstore lip liner that I actually like. I have found very affordable liners that I like, but not drugstore, and because it's a drugstore video, I'm just going to not use a lip liner today. which is so hard for me because I feel like my lips are gonna look so lame-o because I got so used to it. But instead, I'm going to go in with, I'm gonna go in with Nude Lust by Maybelline right here. My lips have no definition and it's making me a little crazy, a little crazy. I feel so weird. Like so weird not having lip liner on. It's like, I'm like dying to grab one of my liners right now and put them on. No. You guys didn't even see that. It never happened. That's it, you guys. I hope that you enjoy this video, this back to school makeup look. I swear the entire video I've had this in my head. Even today when I was getting ready to film, I kept thinking, okay, back to school makeup, back to school makeup. And in my mind, I just always think of, okay, if you guys know this song, I'm gonna cry because you're like, my people, my best friends. It's gonna prove the relationship. Back to school to prove to dad that I'm not a fool. And then he says, I got my dun 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 and my shoes tied tight. I promise that I won't get in a fight. Back to school. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys. Oh wow, we are Pippi Longstocking this bitch. Okay. Ah! It's gonna hit my under eye. Deep compared to my skin. You know what, I'm gonna actually get in, it's a prime, correct, and set spray. Hey, shake your pigs. Ooh, shake your toes. Oh God, Jaclyn. All right. Why are my hands up? What am I doing? Okay, I'm such a dork. I cannot stand myself sometimes. Why do you guys even watch me? And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. I love you. And I'll see you soon. I gotta get better at this.